All right, so it's all a lie. Whoa. What's all a lie, Rashad?
Well, yes, it's as we mentioned previously about conditioning, it is our life, our life situation, our story we tell ourselves, the story we tell ourselves about others, what other people say about us. It's all a lie.
Right.
It's been constructed within a certain dialogue. When I say, and I'll take that even further, speaking as the nature of reality, everything that we see is through a spacesuit, a jumpsuit. We are seeing the world and perceiving the world through our senses. And
Mhm.
our senses, if you look at the Vedas, the ancient teachings of the Vedas, they say that we have primary senses: smell, touch, taste. What's the other one? Smell, touch, taste. Um, I can't think of all of them. But then there's another one. So we have sight, we have
Yep.
smell, we have sound, and we have taste. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
They say thinking is just another one of our senses for us to perceive the world. Now, when we're looking at the world, we're seeing it through only what our eyes and our ears and our minds can see. We're not seeing reality for what it is. Because reality, if we looked at it from like we see with all the new scientific measurements, we'll see ultra rays, we'll see gamma rays, we'll see just this is in the light spectrum, right?
Right.
There are a whole bunch of rays that we can't see. If you look at sounds,
Yep.
there's only a certain range. So again, emotions that we feel that our life is not going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Based on what we perceive to be, not realizing that this may be the point where your life's about to transition and become magnificent, and
Yep.
you're suffering this. And so I love what Eckhart Tolle says. He says, your life situation is not your life. You are life. Your life situation is something constructed in your mind. And it's a lie that you tell yourself, but you can change that as well, right? And
Right.
that's your programming, your conditioning, and your environment. So you can change that program. And I didn't know you could. I thought, okay, well,
Uh,
it is what it
Thought you
is.
were
And
stuck.
right. I was
Right?
stuck for life, right?
Love it.
And,
Very cool.
and yeah, and it wasn't that. It was, it was my programming that did that. And so,
Yeah.
working with clients, and I'm saying, hey, why don't we try a new program? Like the way that you feel stuck right now is a great opening. And
Yeah.
so you're looking at that future not with a great sense of trepidation, going, oh my God, what's going to happen next? You're saying,
Yeah.
I can't wait for tomorrow because we're afraid of the unknown, right?
Yes.
We're always afraid of the unknown.
Hmm. Absolutely. And reality is real. So honoring this person's reality and it is real to them and they are correct because it's their reality. And then you don't get stuck arguing with people either. So I love that one. What else would you love to say
Yeah.
about reality is real? What comes up?
Well, right. So reality is real as how we choose to perceive it. So
Mm-hmm.
how we choose to see our life situation, it's real for us. So you could look at another person and go, "That's you don't have a problem. You think you got a problem. My son left me and I don't have a job, and you think your life is bad." For each individual, they're experiencing their traumas and their pains
Yep.
and their discomforts in a very real way. So it's not
Yep.
fair on us to go, you know what, that's not real, because it
Yeah,
is real for them. But
it
what we
is.
have to do is to transcend what we perceive as real and change that dialogue, because our senses are reflecting to us a situation of life that is very conditioned. Let me give you
Mm-hmm.
an example. So you see a person standing proud with a loud voice and is looking up, and then he speaks like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Right? So automatically, because of conditioning and programming, we look at them and go, "Oh, he looks arrogant." We'll say he's
Uh,
arrogant, right? Now, all the time, that particular person may just have a great posture, and maybe his father told him, son, if you want to be taken seriously, then you need to speak assertively, because he may be a really scared child inside. So he's putting on this facade because he's
right.
afraid. But we interpret it like, oh, he's arrogant. And
Mhm.
so that's conditioning. Now, how do I
Yeah,
know this? Because I'm not just making up random stuff. I did some research onto this, right?
right. What
So I
about
took
tall poppy syndrome from Australia? If anybody seems a little arrogant, they have tall poppy syndrome. Have you heard of
well,
that one? I love that one.
yeah, I have. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I lived there for many years. So yeah,
Oh,
Australians
okay.
have got so many
You got
slangs
it.
and so many. Yeah, yeah, 15 years there.
Oh,
So
wow.
so we do tend to judge people on a primary level. That's on how other people are. But when we look at our life situation, you find someone who's been diagnosed with a terminal disease, and you go to them and say, "Wow, must be difficult," and they say, I'm actually doing fine. Like the story of a man in the wheelchair. This man was in a wheelchair, and another man came up to him and said, "You poor thing, you have to spend the rest of your life in the wheelchair. It must be horrible." And he said, "What are you talking about? This wheelchair gives me the freedom to move around. Because if I didn't have this wheelchair, I'd be stuck in bed. So what are you talking about?"
I know,
Right?
right?
So
That's
we,
so
and,
cool.
and then we perceive other people's suffering like it's our suffering, and we project that. Like, say your parents weren't wealthy, suffered. You'll say, "I never want to end up like my parents." It doesn't mean that if you don't have a lot of money, that suffering comes along with it. Although
Yes,
it's not
exactly.
easy, but
Yeah.
this lovely this lovely saying. It says, "Pain is inevitable.
Yep.
Suffering, however, is optional."
I love that one. I love that one. Thank you so much, Rashad. This has been wonderful.
Thank you,
You've
Linda. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's so much fun being with you and talking to you as well.